Ladies and gentlemen, grab your popcorn, because what you're about to hear isn't just shocking, it's downright diabolical. What if I told you that Remy Ma, the so-called queen of resilience, just orchestrated the greatest scam hip-hop has ever seen? What if I told you her heartbreaking ICU emergency, the tearful hospital visits, the desperate prayers, the endless hashtags, wasn't even real? Yep. Buckle up, because anonymous sources are now blowing the lid off a plot so insane, it sounds like something straight out of a bad Lifetime movie. Was Remy really fighting for her life? Or fighting for Papoose's heart? According to leaked audio, secret nurse confessions, and some suspiciously timed social media posts, Remy Ma might have faked her entire medical crisis just to guilt-trip Papoose into loving her again. I mean, who needs Cupid when you've got a fake for drip and a rented hospital room, right? But don't worry, we're breaking down every messy detail you weren't supposed to know. And trust me, once you hear how deep this rabbit hole goes, you'll never look at ICU selfies the same way again. Let's dive straight into this madness. When news first broke that Remy Ma had been rushed to the ICU, the hip-hop world practically froze. Tears, prayers, hashtags. It was like watching a global meltdown in real time. Hashtag Pray for Remy was trending. Celebrities were posting sobbing selfies. Fans were organizing candlelight vigils. Heck, even people who barely knew who Remy Ma was started tweeting like they lost a blood relative. But behind those hospital curtains, behind the oxygen masks, heart monitors, and sad violin music playing in everyone's minds, there was no real tragedy happening. There was a mastermind at work, and her name was Remy Ma. You see, while the world was crying, Remy Ma was allegedly laughing and plotting. Because according to a series of leaked text messages, security footage nobody was supposed to see, and a suspiciously chatty hospital insider will call Nurse T, this entire medical emergency was less tragic accident and more Academy Award-worthy performance. So what's the tea? Buckle up, because this story goes deeper than a fake four-drip. Sources close to the Bronx rapper claim that after her marriage with Papoose started falling apart, after all the messy public blow-ups, cheating rumors, and alleged secret meetups with other men, Remy was desperate. Desperate to win him back. Desperate to remind him why he once called her his queen. Desperate enough to fake a medical crisis. But why an ICU stunt? Why not a dramatic love letter or a sappy Instagram post? Because in Remy's mind, only a life-or-death situation could crack through Papoose's anger. Only the image of her on the brink of death could shatter his pride and pull him back into her arms. And guess what? For a while, it worked. Pap was photographed rushing into the hospital, eyes swollen from crying. He skipped shows, canceled appearances, spent nights curled up in a chair beside her bed. He even posted emotional tributes online, calling Remy his forever love and begging fans for prayers. It was Oscar-level manipulation. But here's where the cracks started to show. Eyes. A nurse, later identified only as T, reportedly noticed some strange things. Like how Remy's heart monitor was unplugged but still beeping. Or how she'd adjust her oxygen mask when nobody was watching. Or how her so-called visiting restrictions mysteriously lifted whenever certain paparazzi were nearby. Then came the final straw. Nurse T allegedly overheard Remy giggling, yes, giggling on a secret phone call, saying, and I quote, "Girl, he's falling for it. I told you men are so simple." Flushed face. You can't make this stuff up, people. Words started spreading. Whispers turned into rumors. Security footage showed Remy sitting up, texting furiously, only to quickly lay back down and play weak whenever Papoose walked in. And then, the biggest leak of all, a hospital bill. You see, the ICU room? It wasn't booked by a doctor. It wasn't assigned by medical necessity. It was rented. Straight up reserved, like a VIP suite at a 5-star hotel. According to insiders, Remy paid cash up front for a simulation room, a setup typically used for training medical students. In other words, there were no life-saving machines. No actual emergencies. Just props, flashing lights, and a lot of bad acting. And guess who footed the bill? A shell company tied to Remy's business manager. Coincidence? I think not. And while Papoose was begging doctors to do everything they could, The only thing they needed to do was reboot the smoke machine and fluff the pillows. Welcome to Remy Ma's ICU Love Trap 101. Broken heart. And trust me, the deeper you go, the messier it gets. Because just when you think this can't get worse, there's another twist about to hit you square in the jaw. As whispers turned into roars, the real storm was just beginning to brew. Because while some fans were still clutching their pearls and typing prayers up for Remy under every post, others started asking the uncomfortable questions. Why did no medical staff ever post official updates? Why were the hospital visitor logs mysteriously wiped? And why did Remy's makeup look freshly done in every ICU picture? Eyes. Enter the leaks. And oh boy, were they juicy. First came the audio tapes, allegedly recorded by a night shift nurse who just couldn't keep quiet anymore. In the recordings, you can clearly hear Remy joking with her friends. Y'all, I got Pap crying like a baby. Mission almost complete. And wait till he brings me that new chain I asked for. Being sick is a full-time job. Yeah. Just when you thought it couldn't get more shameless, Remy basically turned ICU fraud into a side hustle. But that wasn't the worst of it. Leaked internal hospital memos revealed that staff had raised concerns about the celebrity patient, noting things like 0 medical anomalies in Remy's vital signs, no evidence of trauma, infection, or cardiac distress. Requests from Remy's team to stage emergency moments for the cameras. Yes, you heard that right. Her management allegedly requested staged emergencies. One memo even read, patient's entourage requested a CPR simulation for social media engagement. Request denied. Meanwhile, fans who had once worshipped the ground Remy walked on started turning. Twitter exploded. Instagram went nuclear. TikTok was on literal fire. Hashtags like #RemyScam, #ICUgate, and #prayers for what started trending within hours. One TikTok user posted a side-by-side breakdown comparing real ICU patient footage with Remy's, pointing out inconsistencies like her flawless eyelashes, her constantly polished nails, and the suspicious lack of any forebruising. The video racked up 12 million views in 24 hours. Public figures chimed in too. Charlemagne the God roasted her on The Breakfast Club, joking, Remy Ma didn't need a miracle, she needed an Oscar. While Joe Budden laughed during his podcast and said, at this point, just give her a BET award for Best Fictional Drama. Even 50 Cent, never one to miss a trolling opportunity, posted a meme of Remy in a hospital bed with the caption, when you love drama more than oxygen, skull. But it wasn't just online smoke Remy had to deal with. Anonymous sources, allegedly insiders from the hospital administration, started whispering about potential criminal investigations. Because guess what? Faking a medical emergency isn't just messy. It's illegal. Authorities reportedly began sniffing around. Was there fraud involved? Were insurance companies billed for fake treatments? Were hospital resources misused? Did her fake emergency delay real patients from getting ICU care? And if you thought Remy's troubles ended there, think again. Papoose, the man she supposedly risked everything to win back, was starting to put the pieces together. He stopped posting updates. He stopped visiting the hospital. Insiders say he even started consulting lawyers to review recent events. The fairy tale reunion Remy had banked everything on? Crumbling. Fast. And fans weren't feeling any sympathy either. The betrayal hit differently. One fan wrote, I prayed for you. I cried for you. You turned your hospital bed into a movie set. I'm done. Another commented, you faked death for clout. Nah, sis, you need therapy and Jesus. And a viral meme summed it all up perfectly. A photo of a hospital bed with the words, new season of Power, looking realistic. Because you know 50 Cent's drama shows couldn't script this better if they tried. Meanwhile, YouTube detectives were having a field day, breaking down every photo, every live stream, every inconsistency, complete with slow-motion zoom-ins and CSI-level analysis. The consensus? This wasn't just a bad PR move. This was a career kamikaze. And just when the fire was burning hottest, just when everyone thought it couldn't get more humiliating for Remy Ma, a second hospital insider came forward. And they didn't just leak documents or secret recordings. They leaked the contracts. The literal paperwork showing that Remy's ICU stay was pre-arranged weeks before she ever collapsed in public.
Dates, times, payment receipts.
Even scripts for what hospital staff were supposed to say if media showed up. Ladies and gentlemen, this wasn't an emergency. This was a business deal. The internet had already canceled her. The memes had already buried her career 6 feet under. But Remy Ma's real problems? Oh honey, they were just getting warmed up.
Fire.
Because the minute those leaked contracts hit the timeline, it wasn't just angry fans she had to worry about. It was lawyers. It was government investigators. It was federal agencies side-eyeing her like she just tried to fake her way into $1 billion inheritance. According to anonymous insiders and some conveniently accidentally leaked emails, several government bodies were now involved, including the Department of Health, state insurance fraud units, even the FBI's Public Corruption Task Force eyes.
Yeah,
that's right. Not only did Remy Ma fake a life-threatening emergency, she allegedly committed insurance fraud in the process. Because, remember those hospital rooms? Even though she paid privately for the simulation room, sources claim some real medical bills were filed through insurance for procedures that never happened. One investigator, who spoke anonymously, of course, put it like this: "This isn't just unethical. This is textbook insurance fraud, punishable by heavy fines and even prison time."
Oof.
From Queen of Hip Hop to Queen of Cell Block D in one easy scam. And if you think the rap community, usually known for circling the wagons around their own, had her back, think again. Papoose?
Gone.
Sources say he quietly moved out of their shared home just 2 days after the leak broke. Even worse, he allegedly filed for a legal separation and is now seeking full custody of their youngest child, citing emotional endangerment and reckless public behavior. In court documents that conveniently leaked faster than tea at a beauty salon, Papoose's lawyers argued that Remy's calculated deception created an environment unsafe for emotional development. Translation? She didn't just lose Papoose. She risked losing everything. Friends?
Distancing themselves.
Business partners? Quietly withdrawing. Endorsement deals? Poof, vanished into thin air. In a leaked email from a popular clothing brand that had been negotiating a sponsorship with her, a rep wrote, "We cannot align ourselves with individuals involved in public deception scandals."
Cold.
Brutal. But honestly,
deserved.
Meanwhile, Remy tried to do damage control. Oh, you know it was coming. First came the exclusive interview attempt, a desperate sit-down with a second-tier gossip blog where she cried crocodile tears and blamed everything on miscommunication. According to her, she was genuinely sick, even though no diagnosis was ever provided. The rented hospital suite was for privacy, not fraud, apparently. And the leaked phone calls? Taken out of context. Sure, January. Public reaction? 2 words, too late. The comments section roasted her harder than a Thanksgiving turkey. This woman faked death for attention. Girl, bye. ICU? More like I see you lying. Sis, you had better stage a real funeral, because your career's dead. TikTokers created parody videos, acting out fake ICU emergencies, calling it the hashtag Remy Challenge. People walked around wearing hospital gowns at parties, mocking her. A Netflix parody movie titled Emergency Room. The remix started trending. Yeah, it was that bad. And just when it seemed like she might scrape together some sympathy, one final nail hit the coffin. An insurance company filed an official lawsuit. Yep, a full-blown civil lawsuit accusing Remy Ma of fraudulent claims, deceptive practices, malicious intent. They're seeking over $2 million in damages for fraudulent medical claims, misuse healthcare resources, and brand damage. One lawyer for the insurance company stated in a press conference, "This is not just about one person lying. It's about undermining the integrity of an entire medical system." Translation? They're about to make an example out of her. Now, rumors are swirling that federal prosecutors are quietly preparing criminal charges. And if convicted, Remy could face A $250,000 fine per fraudulent claim. Up to 10 years in prison. Permanent loss of eligibility for future insurance coverage. From rap battles to courtroom battles, and spoiler alert, the courtrooms hit harder. Meanwhile, fans are still watching. But now, it's more like watching a slow-motion car crash you can't look away from. Once praised for her comeback story, from prison to platinum albums, Remy Ma is now the poster child for how fast loyalty, legacy, and love can be destroyed by one dumb, desperate move. And Papoose? Last we heard, he's living his best life, traveling, launching a mentorship program, posting motivational quotes like, "Never be so loyal that you betray yourself." Yeah, shots fired. In the end, Remy Ma didn't just fake an emergency. She faked herself out of everything she had built: love, loyalty, respect, in the worst, most public way possible. No doctor could save her from this. No prayer circle could heal this wound. And no staged hospital photo shoot will ever bring her credibility back. Ladies and gentlemen, the ICU stunt was shocking, but the aftermath? A full-blown career obituary. And trust me, you haven't heard the last of this mess. Because when the feds come knocking, when the lawsuits pile higher than hospital bills, when the truth finally spills out on national TV, you'll remember exactly where you were when Remy Ma went from lean back to fall down flat. And there you have it, folks, the scandal that flipped hip-hop upside down and shattered whatever was left of Remy Ma's legacy. From ICU beds to court subpoenas, from crocodile tears to million-dollar lawsuits, this wasn't just a fall from grace, it was a free fall straight into oblivion. But now the real question is, can Remy Ma ever recover from this level of betrayal? Can Papoose ever forgive a heart that faked being broken just to trap him? Or is this truly the final chapter in a story we all thought was about loyalty? I want to hear what you think, because trust me, this conversation is just getting started. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was Remy Ma desperate or downright dangerous? Is Papoose better off moving on for good? And most importantly, would you ever be able to forgive a stunt like this? Hit that like button if you're shocked as we are. Subscribe to Gossip Spill Vibe for more breaking celebrity bombshells. And don't forget to ring that bell, because in the world of fame and lies, the next scandal is always just one heartbeat away. Stay tuned, because this mess, it's far from over.